Saturday, October 7th, we're at Bullards Beach State Park in Bandon, Oregon. Attempting in shoes to climb up a sand dune. Again, Bullards Beach State Park, Bandon, Oregon. Doing our usual thing. This place is supposed to be full of agates, or have agates. Wow. Trying to find my way down these sand dunes. Let me turn the camera around. I've been traveling now for 8 days, full timing. It's been quite an experience with our cats. They're getting used to it. Camera around a little. A lot of people here doing the same thing we are. It's supposed to be a nice day. Anyway, wow, there's some big waves. Well, not too big, but a few big ones. Wife out there. Anyway, I'm going to sign off for now, and I'll turn the camera back on if we start finding some agates or anything else neat worth of photographing. But apparently many people come here beachcombing. There are some pretty cool rocks here. That one's kind of neat. Here's a couple cool ones. There's another beautiful rock. Some other kind of neat ones. I'll turn this on again in a few minutes. Hello, I'm back. We're walking, like I said, at Bullards Beach State Park in Bandon, Oregon. It's a fascinating beach. It goes for miles, and it's known for having neat rocks, agates, which we enjoy. So we're on our 8th day of full timing. It's been quite an experience. We started off up in Salem, Oregon at a park called Illowee, and now we're down at a place called Robin's Nest. It's just a small mom and pop. Probably had its heyday about 20 years ago, but it is nice and quiet. And they have full hookups with, you know, cable, water, sewer, electric. We're trying to get used to living in a motorhome. It's been quite an experience, but it's been fun, and so far so good. Real happy with all my towing equipment. That's been going well. Probably whoever's interested in my videos doesn't care, but our motorhome, for whatever reason, seems to get really good mileage compared to what I thought. I mean, we've been getting between 8 and 9 miles to the gallon towing my Jeep, which weighs over 5,000 pounds. Plus all of our stuff, a lot of which I'm going to guess about maybe 500 pounds of stuff that we're taking back to Southern California to store at a little place at my in-laws' house that we have. But anyhow, kind of foggy here today. See my wife in the background. Turn the camera. See up the coast there. It goes about 4 miles. So this beach is south of Coos Bay and probably north of, I guess, Florence, Oregon. It's in Coos County, which has about 60,000 people in the whole county, but the city of Bandon itself only has about 3,500 people. Pretty flat beach, looking in both directions. Like I said, it's a little foggy. It's October 7th, about 12 noon. It's supposed to kind of clear up today. Anyway, and I think it's supposed to rain later on this week. So as far as living full-time in an RV, yeah, it's been quite an experience. A lot of bending over and getting in and out of the storage compartments. Not quite used to that. You got to kind of really have everything well organized, obviously. so that you know where stuff's, where you can find stuff. And we're still a little nervous about venturing too far away from the motorhome because of our cats. Not sure what they'll get into. The other day, one of them got up on the side controls on the driver's side and turned on the map lights, stepped on the little switch. So I've already remedied that by just covering them up. So this area is pretty nice. There's a few grocery stores, but it is a small town. Lots of little seafood places to eat in downtown Bandon or Old Town. Don't know if my brother would watch my videos, but he went to a prep school up here years ago, which was the first time I'd heard about Bandon, Oregon. It was called Bullards Prep School. I don't think it's there anymore. I think it's been shut down. I've mentioned it to a few people I've encountered here in the community, and they said they knew about it. It was well known for many decades. Anyway, you can see some of these beautiful rocks here. My wife has already found a couple agates. We found some sea glass. I'll try to get some good video here of some really unique rocks. There's some kind of unusual, beautiful stones here. There's another neat one. Pretty good sized waves here too. I'm kind of surprised. Of course, now that I'm doing this video, I won't be able to find anything really shocking. Yeah, nothing too unusual here. We have found quite a few pieces of petrified wood as well. Here's a piece of petrified wood right here. Kind of neat. Kind of stroll along here. Very peaceful out here. One of the things we're learning is these beaches in Oregon are really clean. And they let people kind of do what they want, which is neat. People seem to take their trash away. They do allow you to drive a Jeep or any kind of a vehicle on the beach as long as it's suitable. And some of this is so firm, you could drive a car out here. But it looks to me like people come out here on Friday, Saturday night, probably the local younger people, come out here and drink beer, drive their beaches. We've seen a few areas where they've been doing some donuts and stuff, which is kind of neat. I mean, if you have such an abundance of open beach without people, why not let people enjoy it, as long as they don't screw it up. You can see these tracks here. We just saw a person cruising through here at about 10 miles an hour. Big fat tires. Tomorrow we're going to bring my Jeep out here. I want to drive it on the beach. It has really good tires for this kind of stuff, and there's a few dunes down here that are kind of firm. Not a big off-roader, but I do like putting around. My wife, I'm going to get her behind the wheel. She wants to see what it's like. Drive around in the sand. Anyway, after we leave here in about a week, we're headed down to Crescent City near the Redwood National Forest. We're going to be staying at a park down there. I can't remember the name. It slips my mind. Kind of looking forward to that. Here's a nice shell. Have to pick that one up and show it to my wife. She might be interested in it. Probably nothing special. See these people up here looking for agates. I generally don't like photographing other people at the beach. I wouldn't want people filming me either. Some jellyfish. We've seen a lot of these today. Wow, this area here is loaded with rocks. Look at all these colors. I'll put that shell back down. My wife will walk over it in a few minutes, see if she finds it. But yeah, this is her thing. She loves coming here to the beach, or any beach, and looking for shells. But we also incorporate it into a long walk. We're going to probably walk 6 or 8 miles today. It's at least 4 miles to one end, and you could probably walk, gosh, I don't know how many miles. There's, up on this bluff, every mile there's a marker, and we started at 146, and I think we just passed 148. So I'm gonna maybe guess that on the Oregon coast they start in southern Oregon and just mark them from one end to the other, because these areas are pretty desolate, and I guess somebody could get lost walking down here. And when you go over these dunes, I mean, some of it just goes into like open areas that are, you know, undeveloped, and there's no services. So I'm sure those are for safety. If somebody had to call for help, they could just say they were at marker 147. But there's no lifeguards out here, obviously, and there's no, you know, there's no lifeguard towers or trash cans or anything. You're on your own out here. Another thing we're trying to get used to is switching. These two parks we've been at do have Wi-Fi. That's an interesting experience, but we do have our T-Mobile hotspot, which has worked flawlessly. I can't say enough about how impressed I am with that little hotspot that I got. It's, gosh, I think where we're at now, which is really, you know, middle of a little town, we're getting like 50 megs download, which is more than enough to do anything two people would ever need to do. We're not big consumers of that stuff. We just watch a little, you know, a little YouTube, use our phones, which are on Verizon, and use our tablets. Anyhow, I'll do a little bit more videoing later when we get down farther. I've gotten way past my wife. She's way down here this end. I'm looking south now, and the fog is really rolling in. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah, she's found something. She's just not big on the YouTube thing. She's kind of a little, you know, doesn't really want to get too involved in it. She's worried it'll start consuming too much of my time, but I don't do any editing really. I just piece together the little videos that I do. And I do appreciate whoever you guys are who have subscribed. Looks like I've got maybe 9 or 10 subscribers, which is kind of funny. Never intended for this to be any kind of a, you know, I'm not going to start marketing stuff and all that kind of crap. At least I don't think I would do that. So anyway, I'll sign out for now and maybe turn this back on a little later. You know, for people who maybe have never been to the Oregon coast. It's too bad it's not a little more clear out. Okay, well, I'm going to sign out. Thank you. We're about down 3 miles. Not sure how much farther we're going to go, because that means 6 miles. Always got to remind my wife when we're going one direction that you got to double it to get back. It's easy to get carried away. We found several small agates, a bunch of sea glass, a huge, well, it wasn't huge, but a pretty big jellyfish. Not sure what kind. I'm going to identify it. I'll throw a picture up on the video of it. It was about 12, 13, 14 inches in diameter. It was kind of a amber color with some tentacles. I'm no stranger to jellyfish. I spent a couple years in Hawaii. San Diego, obviously, where I'm from. I've seen jellyfish a million times, but that's the first one we've seen here. Anyway, there is nobody out here. I'll turn the camera. Just, and the fog hasn't cleared. That's looking south. Looking north. It's kind of a sand dune and some driftwood. Kind of makes you wonder if this is what it was like 1,000 years ago walking on the beach. Just nobody. It's interesting because there's not very many places left in the world where you can walk on a beach for miles and not see anybody. It's kind of why my wife and I feel very fortunate to be able to go on this adventure while we're still, you know, fit enough to go for a long walk. We both realize, though, that after a while we're going to need to be doing this every day, which we've been trying to do, but, you know, when the weather gets kind of bad and you're in a motorhome, I mean, it's very comfortable. There's plenty to do. You can watch, you know, sit and watch TV or whatever, do whatever you need to do, read. But we started off at a kind of an unusual time of the year. But we are heading south and east. Gonna head towards Arizona, visit my brother. Haven't seen him in, gosh, maybe over a year or two. Can't even remember. Haven't seen our in-laws. Seen my mother-in-law, but haven't seen my father-in-law in 18 months. We're going to be visiting them for a month down in San Diego. Catch up with a few people I haven't seen. Take care of a few things that you got to do. Anyhow, sorry I say that so often. I notice when I watch my videos back, I use the term anyhow too often. I'm going to have to curb that. But I'll throw up some still pictures of our trip today and a few neat rocks and agates. I'll try to incorporate them into a video. We're going to keep going. Probably go another mile, I guess. Maybe I'll do a little bit on the way back if I come across anything kind of neat. Good afternoon. Today is Sunday, August 8th. We're back down at Bullards Beach in Bandon, Oregon. I did a video yesterday and you can see the difference. Today it's sunny and beautiful out here. It's about 58, 59, 60 degrees. We're on the hunt for agates again, along with a lot of these other people that are down here in this other direction. See down the beach here, this is looking north. Pretty turbulent ocean in this area. Quite a deep drop off here. I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but yeah, this shore slopes down quite a bit. Very impressed with this sand on this beach. It's nice and firm. And this tide does go all the way up and hit these sand dunes at night where that driftwood is. We're going to be here till next Friday morning, and then we're heading down towards Crescent City in California. We wanted to extend where we were at, but the place already has our spot reserved. Looking for some agates. That looks like a small one right there. No, actually it's not. You can tell when you can see through them. You hold them up to the sun, you can see through them. Some of them are really light colored. The ones here all seem to be kind of a goldish, yellowish color. Probably end up walking about 4 miles today. We ended up doing just about 6 yesterday. Not quite as far as we thought. But we wanted to take advantage of this weather because tomorrow it's supposed to start raining, and it's going to rain for the next 3 days, which will be a good test for my wife and I in that motorhome. But yeah, you want to look in these strips of rocks where the ocean has washed everything up. I'll sign out for now and I'll turn this back on in a minute. Here's a small agate right here. You can see how the light just goes right through them. It's a small agate. I don't even know if my wife's going to want that one. Yeah, it's not very big. She's behind me. We've already found dozens. Well, probably a dozen or two. Got to be. Some of these look like agates. That might be. I'm going to leave that there. She's behind me, and I'll see if she scoops that thing up. She found one that was about size of a quarter. Here's a small one here. Right there. See how the light just goes right through it. Whereas that's not an agate. That's probably quartz. Met a neat German lady in Squim that was kind of educating us and how deceiving it can be between quartz and agates. But agates definitely, at least the ones up here, are kind of an amber color, and the light will shine right through them. What's that? What's that? Oh, wow. Turn those over. Yeah, those are big. Good job. I have no clue what we're going to do with these. I guess we'll tumble them when we get down to San Diego. Thinking about getting a new tumbler, a bigger one. The one we had had 2 small barrels. It was from Harbor Freight, and it can only do each little tumbler, each barrel can only hold 3 pounds, but that included the media and the water. So you'd end up with a small sandwich bag full of rocks from each tumbler. Yeah, the weather today is much nicer than yesterday. Never knew there was this many people that were interested in agates. I'll sign off. If I come across anything else, I'll turn the camera back on.